Hi students, I'm Sonia from Vidya Guru. Starting a new session on current affairs. This session is for the month of July 2021. This is basically the first part for the month of July. As you guys can make out that this session is in English medium. If you're not comfortable with the language, there's another session which is short in Hindi medium. You can actually watch that session if you're not comfortable with the English medium session. This English medium session is recorded primarily for our students from South India, like students from Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala. So the students who are actually not able to understand Hindi well, like students from Northeast India, we upload a separate session for them which is completely in English medium so that learning would be easier for them. From here on, I'll be starting the session, but I wish to tell you something before starting, that I collect these many important points and I try to deliver almost like 50 to 60 points in one video. That means if you spend around half an hour's time with me, you'll be able to learn 50 to 60 new important points. That is why this video has this sort of worth. The questions are significant. I've spent ample time. I expect at least a like from you. Share the video with your friends if they are preparing for any competitive exam, and if that exam has the section of current affairs, the session is significant for that student. Subscribe to Vidya Guru's YouTube channel. If you are new to our channel, do subscribe. Press the bell icon which is just beside the subscribe button. That's how you will receive the notifications of all the exam relevant videos which we upload. So the first question in front of you on your screen now. Antonio Guterres. You've heard the name before that as well. This name is actually not very new to you guys. If you are a regular viewer of our channel, I've taught this fellow earlier as well. Antonio Guterres, he is from Portugal. Why you have heard his name? The reason is he is basically the UN Secretary General. So what is new here? The new thing here is that Antonio Guterres has become the UN Secretary General once again. That means he's been re-elected. The nationality of the fellow is important. He is from Portugal. Whenever I write something on the board, please understand that is significant. I've deliberately kept that particular thing there for you. This can be asked in a question. The next question which can be asked from this page is that who was the first Secretary General, first UN Secretary General? Then his name was Trygve Lie. Trygve Lie, he is from Norway. He was from Norway. And if you actually talk about Antonio Guterres, he is basically the 9th UN Secretary General. And if I wish to explain it further, his term is tenure, then he is going to remain in his position till 31st December 2026. So Antonio Guterres has been re-elected as UN's Secretary General till 31st December 2026. Let's move ahead. The next question is new Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. Even recently, like a few videos back, I've taught you there was another fellow who became the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. Now there's another one. He is Pushkar Singh Dhami. He has become the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand now. The new Chief Minister has to be learned, not the older one. If you listen to 2 or 3 names together, I am sure you will get confused because people have a habit. If they teach, they talk about the older fellow as well. The one who was the Chief Minister earlier. So he was the Chief Minister earlier. Now he's the one. Don't learn like that. You are a student. I know you get confused. So I'm just telling you the name of the newer fellow. He is Pushkar Singh Dhami, the youngest CM of Uttarakhand. Pushkar Singh Dhami is basically the 11th Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. Let's move ahead. PMC Bank. Have you heard the news in which the customers of PMC, they were not unable to withdraw money from their accounts? That means some sort of problem was going on with PMC. PMC Bank, if you can recall, Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank, that is PMC. If I am talking about PMC, that means something new has happened here. The new thing here is that PMC is going to be acquired by Centrum and BharatPe. There are two individual financial services I'm referring to, companies I'm referring to, which are going to, acquire PMC. They are Centrum and BharatPe. So what is Centrum? What is BharatPe? I'm going to talk about them like that. Centrum Financial Services will set up an small finance bank, an SFB I meant actually. So an SFB and acquire PMC. Understand that if some financial services company wants to acquire a bank, then that company needs to meet some criteria. So that criteria set up by RBI is that Centrum Financial Services, they have to first set up a small finance bank, then they'll be able to acquire this PMC. So first they'll be setting up an SFB, then they'll be acquiring PMC. If you talk about BharatPe, BharatPe is basically a fintech company. BharatPe is basically a fintech company. So learn it carefully. Centrum and BharatPe will acquire PMC. The next question is, I have heard, I'm going to even tell you that there were governors, there are new governors of a few states which I'll be talking about, them here. The names you are already aware of. There can be many people, many names. They were the governors of other states earlier. As I am going to tell you the new names here, don't relate them with their previous states. Otherwise, you will get confused. What is written on the board, you have to learn it just like that. I'll tell you with an example. Let's start with the question first. Appointment of governors. Hari Babu Kambhapati. Hari Babu Kambhapati has become the new governor of Mizoram. Mizoram's new governor, Hari Babu. When I move ahead to Madhya Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh has also got a new governor. His name is Mangubhai Chhaganbhai Patel. Mangubhai Chhaganbhai Patel. What happens is, when I talk about the governor of Himachal Pradesh, let me explain that first, let me finish it. Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar. Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar has become the new governor of Himachal Pradesh. First, Hari Babu, governor of Mizoram. Mangubhai Chhaganbhai Patel, new governor of Madhya Pradesh. Then Himachal Pradesh new governor Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar. Let's move ahead. Thwarchand Gehlot. Thwarchand Gehlot, you've heard the name before as well. I am very sure if you take any exam, you will get confused. So don't relate it with anything else when I'm teaching you. Thwarchand Gehlot has become the new governor of Karnataka. Learn it like that. Thwarchand Gehlot, Karnataka's new governor. P.S. Sridharan Pillai. P.S. Sridharan Pillai has become the new governor of Goa. Satyadev Narayan Arya. Satyadev Narayan Arya has become the new governor of Tripura. Jharkhand's new governor Ramesh Bais. Ramesh Bais has become the governor of Jharkhand now. Bandaru Dattatreya has become the new governor of Haryana. So learn the names carefully. Let's move ahead. Now, Smart Cities Award. When you read this page, believe me, 1 or 2 questions will be asked from this page only in your exam for sure. They are that important. So be careful when you learn them. Best Smart State, UP. Best Smart State, UP. See, there has to be a ministry, some department, some organization which will be actually giving these awards away. The ministry behind these awards, behind these Smart Cities Award, is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs first. Understand that. State has become the best smart state. That state is Uttar Pradesh. When I move ahead, when I actually talk about in terms of ranks, then second is Madhya Pradesh and the third one is Tamil Nadu. So UP, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, these are the 3 smart states in Smart Cities Award given by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. When I actually move to the lower point, which states that best UT is Chandigarh, Smart City, Indore and Surat. This question will be there in your exam for sure. Smart City, Indore and Surat. Let's move ahead. Now a few more important things, super significant. MD and whole time director, WTD, that means whole time director. When you talk about urban cooperative banks, so urban cooperative banks have MDs, have whole time directors. So I am saying they need to meet some criteria to acquire, to be MD or whole time director, to acquire such a position. I meant that. So if you wish to be MD or whole time director of any urban cooperative bank, then the criteria is such, which is there on your screen now. If you have minimum age of 35 years, you can obviously think of becoming MD or whole time director. Maximum age can be 70 years. Understand that. I'm talking about the criteria for MD or whole time director for urban cooperative banks. Tenure at a time, be very clear on that. Tenure at a time can't exceed, can't be more than 5 years. But if you want, the same person should continue as MD or whole time director, it can be extended to 15 years. Reappointment, even post 15 years, you want the same person to be the MD and whole time director. In that case, the gap of 3 years, that has to be there. So reappointment after 15 years possible only after a gap of 3 years. That with the gap of 3 years, that person can be reappointed the MD or whole time director for that urban cooperative bank. Can't be MP, MLA, cooperator, that means those cooperators which are there in municipalities. What do I mean by saying that, by this lowest point? I am trying to tell you, if you are an MP, if you are an MLA, if you are a cooperator, you cannot be the MD or whole time director in any urban cooperative bank. So understand it like that. This page is super significant. You have to learn it. Let's move ahead. New generation nuclear capable missile tested successfully. I hope if you learn current affairs, you understand that this question can't be skipped too, because this is also super important, super relevant. Whatever I'm teaching you, I try to highlight that this question is surely going to be there in your exam, believe me. Agni P means prime, I'm referring to. See, I am a teacher. My job is to highlight important points. I although select important points, very important ones, yet there are more important points than my points only. So I have to highlight them further. That's what I'm doing here to make things easier for you. New generation nuclear capable missile. When I talk about Agni P, there can be a question in your exam. They may ask you, what is Agni P? So Agni P is nuclear capable missile. P means prime. I've already mentioned that. The place can be asked off the coast of Odisha. Odisha is the place. From this place, basically, it was test fired successfully. What this nuclear capable missile capable of, that means the range I'm referring to. So the range is from 1000 to 2000 kilometers. That's the range, between 1000 and 2000. That's the range of this nuclear capable missile, which was actually test fired at Odisha. The lowest point, the next question is about Pinaka rocket, enhanced version tested of Pinaka rocket. What I'm trying to explain here, that when you read this point, you can even make out that Pinaka rocket already existed. Here we have tested the better or the enhanced version of Pinaka rocket only. This was test fired from Odisha only. So both the points were related with the venue. Let's move ahead. Official theme song of Indian Olympic team. When you learn Hindi, when you know Hindi a bit, you can even understand such a thing. Tu than le. These are very motivating, words. Tu than le. So such a song was made official theme song for our Olympic team. The team which is going to take part in Olympics, they have their official theme song, and that is Tu Than Le, which was composed and sung by Mohit Chauhan. So composer and singer Mohit Chauhan. The name of the fellow is important to learn it for sure. Let's move ahead. New economic stimulus package. Have you seen Nirmala Sitharaman a few days back announcing a few more things, announcing a stimulus package a few days back? So I'm going to explain that package here again. I hope you even understand. See, at times when we read current affairs, we get bored. But I feel that if the questions are going to be there in your exam for sure, you should remain focused. That boredom should actually go away when you know that these questions are going to be there in your exam for sure. You should be more focused, and believe me, they are surely going to be there in your exam. New economic stimulus package announced by Nirmala Sitharaman, that was worth I'm referring to, that is 6.28 lakh crore that she has actually made the announcement of. When I talk about loan guarantee scheme for affected sectors, loan guarantee scheme for affected sectors, see, you talk about the 6.28 lakh crore. When I read the lower points, I am stating what is the breakup. What is the breakup? Like where we are going to, distribute this amount. What all sectors will be getting the loans with this stimulus package. Loan guarantee scheme for affected sectors, rupees 1.10 lakh crores. Affected sectors I've talked about. Additional allocation for emergency credit line guarantee scheme is 1.5 lakh crore. Additional, that means earlier it was around 3 lakh crore. When you read the lowest point which talks about 4.5, this 4.5 already has this additional 1.5 lakh crore. So what do I mean by saying additional? 3 lakh crore was the allocation under ECLGS earlier. I'm saying they have added 1.5 lakh crore again. So it has become 4.5 lakh crore now. The next thing is on lending by microfinance institutions to 25 lakh borrowers up to 1.25 lakh each. What do I mean by saying that? You even can understand that this question is important too. MFIs, microfinance institutions, any financial entity, any financial institutions, the way they earn is the pivotal way, the main way through which they earn. Any bank, any company, any financial company, they earn by actually lending money, by giving credit, by giving loans to people. That's how they earn. Keep that thing in your mind. What I'm saying here, I'm talking about microfinance institutions here. They are lending money. When they are lending money, keep that in mind, they can lend money to 25 lakh borrowers. How much they can lend to those 25 lakh borrowers? 1.25 lakh each borrower can get as a loan from these MFIs. It does not mean that if somebody wants 50,000, 25,000, you'll be forcefully giving them 1.25 lakh. I am saying up to 1.25 lakh each borrower can get. 25 lakh borrowers can get 1.25 lakh crore from these MFIs. Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana, it has got extended till 31st March 2022. That means talk about the next year. So till next year 2022 till 31st March Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana has been extended till then. Free 1 month tourist visa. I'm referring to India actually. So free 1 month tourist visa to 5 lakh tourist, that was also announced basically. So free 1 month tourist visa to 5 lakh visitors. Reform based result linked power distribution scheme. They have allocated something there also. 3.03 lakh crore is the amount they are referring to. What does it mean? I'll explain the lowest point. Other points are pretty clear to understand. When you read the lowest point, I feel that it will be difficult to comprehend. So I'm trying to make it easier for you. Keep BSES in your mind. The electricity distributor, the provider, the company which provides you electricity, DISCOM. So they actually look at the distribution of electricity. That means power I'm referring to. Keep those companies in your mind. I am saying reform based, result linked power distribution scheme. That means if they bring some reform if they actually perform as the government wants them to, then they'll be incentivized. And if they are going to be incentivized, what is going to be the total amount they are allocating to boost them? Basically the amount is 3.03 lakh crores. Understand the point? I hope you have. Let's move ahead. Outlay on public health, focus on pediatric care, rupees 23,220 crores. Besides 50,000 crore for healthcare, under 1.1 lakh crore loan guarantee scheme. Learn it like that. 1.1 lakh crore, 1.1 lakh crore is the loan guarantee scheme amount, in which 50,000 was allocated to healthcare earlier, in which 50,000 was allocated to healthcare only. I am talking about the uppermost point, which talks about 23,220 crores. What is that? It is additional to 50,000. Besides this 50,000, when you add 23,220 crores, this much have been given or allocated by the government to healthcare collectively now. But this 23,220 crore is specially allocated to pediatric care. Pediatric care, that means I'm referring to children, kids. So pediatric care in the health sector, this amount has been allocated to it. When you read the other point, which states that 11,000 tourist guides can avail loan up to 1 lakh each. Understand that when you go to a tourist destination, you see guides over there. If tourism is affected, obviously those guides are affected too. They even require money. Everybody does. Everybody requires money. So they require money desperately because they do not have job these days. So how the government is going to help them? The government is providing 1 lakh loan, 1 lakh maximum, up to 1 lakh loan they can apply. Those guides can apply for the loan of 1 lakh rupees. 11,000 tourist guides will be benefited under this. Additional subsidy for DAP and PNK fertilizers, that is 14,775 crore. I am trying to tell you that fertilizers have different sorts. DAP and PNK, they are sorts. They are actually the kinds of fertilizers. I'm saying additional subsidy will be given for this kind of DAP and PNK fertilizers. For the subsidy, this will be given. That amount will be 14,775 crores now. Boost to export insurance cover of. Boost to export insurance cover of 88,000 crore. Think about export insurance cover. The encouragement, the increment, the boost is given to export insurance cover. By what amount? The amount is 88,000 crore. Who's providing this sort of boost to export insurance cover? The export insurance cover is getting the boost from Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. The amount I've told you, that 88,000 crores boost will be given to export insurance cover. If you read further, here I'm talking in the lower point, I'm talking about another thing, but it is about exports too, that project exports will get some benefit too. They'll be boosted too, but they'll be boosted by the amount 33,000 crores. And who's going to boost these project exports? National Export Insurance Account is going to give boost to project exports by the amount 33,000 crores. Allocation for BharatNet. BharatNet referring to Digital India. Keep that Digital India in your mind. That allocation of 19,041 crores will be given. This amount will be actually used to materialize the dream of having broadband in the villages too. So allocation for BharatNet means the broadband will be provided in village areas too. So this much amount will be spent there in that category. Let's move ahead. RBI issues outsourcing guidelines for cooperative bank. Understand it like that. If I am a company and I am not able to accomplish a few things, then I can actually get them outsourced. Some other company will do it for me. So outsourcing happens. So such sort of outsourcing I'm talking about. RBI has issued something for cooperative banks now. What sort of outsourcing can take place and what sort of outsourcing cannot take place in cooperative banks? They've mentioned that. I've mentioned it specifically that these core management functions cannot be, must not outsource. Cooperative banks must not outsource these core management functions, like I've mentioned a few of them here. Policy formulation. See, if you are making a policy for the bank, such a thing cannot be outsourced. Internal audit and compliance of a bank cannot be outsourced, because as it is internal, you yourself have to do it. KYC compliance, you have the details of your customers, you can't provide it to some other company. So KYC compliance, this has to be handled by the bank itself, can't be outsourced. Credit sanction, credit that means loan. If loans have to be sanctioned, that can't be outsourced. That has to be done. That should be the discretion of the bank, like who should get the loan and who should not get the loan. So such a thing, credit sanction has to be done by the bank itself. Investment management should be handled by the cooperative banks only. So such are the functions which cannot be outsourced. Other things can be. That's what RBI has mentioned about cooperative banks. Let's move ahead. FDI means foreign direct investment. When you talk about foreign direct investment, the country which has received foreign direct investment, the maximum investment, you have to learn it like that only. But the rank of India obviously matters. India received FDI for $64 billion. I am referring to the year 2020. Learn it carefully. FDI India received in 2020, that was $64 billion. India stood on the 5th rank. That means there were 4 more nations which received more FDI than us. So we have received $64 billion, they have received more than us. The first rank was of USA, the second was of China, the third Hong Kong, Singapore. These are the 4 nations which received more foreign direct investments than India received. So learn it like that. USA, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and the 5th rank was of India, as per United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. That's what UNCTAD has told us. Let's move ahead. GI tag, geographical indication. When I actually talk about GI indication, I talk about Banarasi sari, that means associated with Banaras. Darjeeling tea, associated with Darjeeling. So such names are associated with the products. So GI tag this time was given to Jardalu mangoes. Jardalu mangoes of Bhagalpur, Bihar. This time Bhagalpur, Bihar got the GI tag, and the first consignment of this GI tag Jardalu mangoes was exported to United Kingdom. I hope you can understand. The question is significant. Let's move ahead. 149-year old tradition of Darbar move ends in J&K. When you understand, when you read Darbar move, I feel that students start considering it that there has to be a term which was eliminated. It has some meaning also. I'll explain it. Darbar move was started by Maharaja Gulab Singh in 1872. That means it was started way back. That is why I mentioned it like that. Something started 149 years back has come to an end, has been eliminated. It is not going to be there anymore. What was that? It was Darbar move, which was associated with J&K. Now it is no more there. What is that Darbar move? See, the administration is functioning. The administration is functioning. So when I talk about the administration, understand it. Summer, the administration is functioning from Srinagar. When I am in winter, J&K, when I am in winter, the administration will function from Jammu. That means at 2 places, everything has to be moved from one place to another. when you are switching places to run the administration well. In summers you are in Srinagar, in winter you are in Jammu, so such things are actually difficult to handle. So this Darbar move has come to an end in J&K. Now let's move ahead. Corporate Affairs Ministry released increased turnover for SMCs, that means small and medium companies, to 250 crores. SMC borrowing threshold increased to 250 crore. Understand that. See, whatever was the amount earlier, you need not learn that, please. 50 crore is the borrowing capacity of any SMCs now. It has been increased to 50 crores now, that much they can borrow. What you need to keep in mind, this is basically the definition of any small and medium company. If you have a company and your company has the turnover of 250 crores, up to 250 crores, then you fall in the category of small and medium companies. Now, apart from this, there's another thing which you need to keep in mind, that if your company has the borrowing up to 50 crores only, then you are small, then you fall in this category of small and medium companies. If you have the borrowing of 51 crores, 55 crores, that means if you don't fall in either of this category, you will not be called a small and medium companies. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you want to fall in the category of small and medium company, your turnover should be 250 crores first. Your borrowings can be up to 50 crores only. Let's move ahead. India's rank on World Competitiveness Index. I hope when you learn it, a few things which are important in any index. The first thing is the nation stood on top, India's rank, and the company or the organization which publishes that index. The three things are, the first one is, we are talking about World Competitiveness Index, in which India's rank was 43rd. First rank was of Switzerland, and it is published by Institute for Management Development. This Institute for Management Development is in Lausanne, Switzerland. So 43rd rank India, first Switzerland, published by Institute for Management Development. Learn it, it is important. Let's move ahead. National Doctors Day. National Doctors Day is observed on 1st July. It is observed to commemorate Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy. Bidhan Chandra Roy was, some point of time, he remained the Chief Minister of West Bengal also. So to honor him, in his memory, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy is, we are commemorating him. National Doctors Day is celebrated. It is not World Doctors Day. I'm talking about national. That means I'm referring to India only. Celebrated on 1st July. International Day of Cooperatives 2021. Referring to 2021, that means there has to be some change here also. International Day of Cooperatives is not observed on 3rd July every time. This year, for the year 2021, it was observed on 3rd July. The reason was, every year, whichever is the first Saturday of July, that first Saturday is celebrated as International Day of Cooperatives. So this year, the first Saturday of July, fell on 3rd of July. That is why we celebrated International Day of Cooperatives on 3rd of July. The theme for this year was Rebuild Better Together. Rebuild Better Together. That was the theme for International Day of Cooperatives. Let's move ahead. New President of Iran. His name is Ebrahim Raisi. Ebrahim Raisi has become the new President of Iran. When I talk about the President, I talk about the Prime Minister also. When I talk about the Prime Minister, I talk about the President also. That means if there is any important rank in the nation, I discuss that at times. So I am saying new President of Iran is Ebrahim Raisi, but Iran's Supreme Leader is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is the Supreme Leader of Iran. Here I'll be wrapping up. If you've understood everything, you can press the like button, and thank you so much for watching.